Welcome to the Secret Keepers podcast with your host, Corrine Zutleger. Join us as we uncover the hidden thoughts, stories, and moments that help bring light to the healing power of truth and examine how silence can affect us mentally, physically, and spiritually. We'll also share profound stories, interviews, and transformative narratives to help release ourselves from the hidden and step into healing towards inner peace, joy, and fulfillment. Now, here's your healing strategist and host, Corrine.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secret Keepers podcast. And on today's episode, I have the beautiful, wonderful Liz Urbina, and she has a business called Diet Free Conscious Eating. And I'm going to let Liz tell you what she does and all about her amazingness.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Corinne. It's such a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you so much for inviting me. And who am I? Okay, I am a happy 47 years old woman. I love talking first about my family. So I am a proud mom of a 21 years almost boy, oh my gosh, who's in third year university. I am a wife of, have been a wife for 24 years. What? Of an amazing man who used to be a picky eater. So if you have picky eaters at home, I know all about it. And I can tell you, those are more difficult than the kids, than the small ones. So I know all about it. And I am also a former engineer who, after 22 years of successful career, left that behind and shifted into really my true purpose, which was supporting and helping women to revolutionize their health through the power of food. So some people call me the disruptor nutritionist, and we were just talking about this because I would ask the real questions like, how is your poop? Are you actually going for number two? You know, because I'll not tell you to count steps, to count calories, count anything really. I will not just give you a meal plan and, let you on your own trying to figure out things. I'll help you to really understand your body at the stage that it is, the real needs that it has, and how those needs change over time. I will help you reconnect to your true essence of like things like your hunger cues. Like we are in a stage in an era, I think, that we are all in the go-go mode. And we are eating on the car, we are eating in the office, in front of a computer, in front of the TV, and we disconnect completely from our body and the signals that our bodies send us. And that is causing so much problems, like a lot of eating disorders that we are, seeing all around us are because of those patterns. And I'll help you really change your identity and get to perceive and think of food in a totally different way. Not just this idea. One thing that drives me crazy, and it stopped me because I tend to talk too much. One thing that drives me crazy is how, our society tends to normalize things like eating food-like products and then go to take the medications to fix the issues that those same products are gonna cause. They know are gonna cause into our bodies. Like the other day, I was on the movie theater with my son actually, and her girlfriend, which was like a total new experience for me. And I got to experience, all of the ads on the new flavor of soda, the new chocolate thing, the new candy, whatever, all of those things, right? Like, go get them. And then right after those this ad about go ask your doctor about Ozempic.
Oh, mm-hmm.
And I was like, what is the message here, right? It's okay to go and eat all of those things, like stuff your mouth and your body with all of those things, and then just go grab, the quick fix, that pill, no matter the side effects. And I was like, that is so not right. So I am here to really tell everybody, every woman and their families, that they do not have to be slaves of our toxic food culture, that they can be free, that there are options, that it's not about, either going for all of those food-like products that are convenient, that are craveable and extremely tasty, or going into the other extreme, which is restrictive diets that mess up with our minds, with our emotions, with our digestive system, with our metabolism. Like, we don't have to be in either of those extremes. We can find the balance and actually feel and look our best regardless of our stage or our age. So that's what I am all about.
Well, I love it. And I love your passion behind it. Like, I feel all of your energy in it. It's just so genuine. And part of that, right, comes from, maybe there were some beliefs and some things that brought you to this passion. So here at the Secret Keepers, we're here to bring things to light. These are things that, maybe we grew up knowing a certain way, or being taught certain things, and it's not about blaming. It's about bringing to light and being able to shift our perspective and our thinking on, what works best for us. So what I would love for you to do, Liz, is tell us, how did you get to this point where you're at right now, from being an engineer?
Yes, love it. Well, you see, the truth was that I found there was a time in my life, and this is like 15 years back, where I found myself solving multi-million-dollar problems for others, but struggling with a basic problem for myself and for my family, which was actually eating. I was really struggling with a lot of signs and symptoms: bloating, constipation, skin problems, like really bad digestion, energy levels. Like, I was on this chronic fatigue mode and surviving on coffee, surviving on fast food. Like, I was that one girl who thought that there was no option for me, that I had all of the excuses, I had in my mind all of the reasons why I could not prioritize eating healthier. I didn't have time. It was too bland. My son wouldn't even like it, so why bother? Nobody would like to go on board with that, with changing our eating habits. It was too expensive. It was time consuming. I had all of the reasons to keep delaying something that I knew I had to eventually get into. And that is the exact point I want to bring up. Is, unfortunately, we tend to get our priorities all backwards until life disrupts us, until that one thing that we know is important becomes an emergency.
Sure.
And so, through my work, my hope is that I'm going to help women and their families to start taking proactive action instead of waiting for life to disrupt them.
Wow.
For
Mhm.
me, that disruption happened in April 2011, when I found myself in this room, sitting on uncomfortable chairs, on this smell of antiseptic and magazines, with happy, hopeful faces of families waiting for a doctor to call me into the room. And when that moment actually arrived, just seeing that tall person on the white coat and the stack of paper just telling me, Liz, you're not going to be able to have another child.
Mm.
That was devastating for me, you know? That I didn't realize it at the moment, but with, after the shock and after the heartbreak, starting putting my engineering hat back on, I'm finding a good mentor, of course. I started understanding that that was the result of my consistent, repeated choices in the past. And it was not my fault. Nobody told me. But not knowing unfortunately, does not exempt us from the consequences, right?
Right. Yeah, there are still, I guess this is where we are in life. We get to take responsibility now for the choices that we make from this point further, right? Your awareness was raised that this was an issue. An unfortunate consequent or result of it was you're not going to be able to have another baby. This was what was facing you because of if habits that were formed. And some of those habits are things that we took from our families of origin. Some of those things we brought with us, if you will, in our little backpack. And here we are. But now when we know better, we do better. And you're here now to say, hey, I'm gonna put my hand up, and all you other women out here, I have information. I have information about how food affects your physical body, your emotional body, right? Your spiritual body. I have this information and I want to share it with you. And this will affect your family and then generations to come, right? Let's teach people how to recognize their hunger symptoms. Let's teach people how to recognize what works for their own bodies, right? Because we're so uniquely and wonderfully created. So we're not carbon copies. So like what works for you may not work for me, but you give
Absolutely.
solutions. You're like, let's try this, let's do this. And I love that. You referenced here, tell me a little bit more about your mentor, because you said, that you had a great mentor. And I think that's such a pivotal piece because mentors help us see our blind spots. Breakthroughs happen when we work with someone that can help get us to that next level. So tell me a little bit about your process.
Yes. So I remember actually my only dream, and I want to start with this. There's a quote that I love. It's so hard to take, but I resonated so much with it at that time, and I still do, which is a healthy person has a million dreams, and a sick person has only one dream. My only dream at that time was I want to give my son a sibling. I don't want to have my sibling growing up alone. That was the one dream I had.
Yeah.
And so in my desperation, I was looking for alternatives because I didn't like to hear, what conventional medicine was telling me. I was looking for alternatives and when we're ready for a mentor, the mentor appears, right? I was ready. But sometimes we get what we need, not what we're actually wanting or looking for, right? Which is the beauty of it. So that's what happened to me, actually. I remember the first time I went into the office of this, it was a she, and I came like looking for help to get pregnant naturally, like alternative medicine, Chinese medicine, all of it. And she was like, okay, I can help you, but I want to know more. And she started asking me these questions about How is my sleep? How is actually my diet? How is my stress level? How is my energy? Questions that I never got asked by my doctors before. What is your daily routine? How's your family? How is your family doing? What kind of support do you have? How is work? And I was like, well, fine. Like, if this is the one thing I have to do in order to get to get answers and be told what I need to do in order to get pregnant, I'll tell you everything, right? Like, I was like, okay, fine. And then after I tell her all of these answers, she says, Liz, are you sure you want to have another baby? And I was shocked. I was like confused. And at the same time, to be honest, I was like a little bit pissed off, because who is she to question my, right? Like, my desires, my dreams. And I was like, of course, like, that's the one thing I came for, right?
Right.
And she goes on and says, how about you try to forget about that for a while and focus on really giving your body what it needs to feel and be good. And then if the baby comes, great.
Yeah.
I started to understand, because at that time I was working full time. I was a single mom during the week because my husband was working away from home. I was in the middle of my master's degree, which I was taking. I was like, my plate was so full. I was sleeping like 5 hours a day. I was not giving my body, I was not working on making my body a home for a new being to be nurtured. So how, and I was not even nurturing my existing family, right? I was giving pizza, frozen pizza to my son for dinner, several days of the week. I was not packing his lunch. I was like, here's the money, just buy whatever you can buy at school. I was trying to be a good mom, but I didn't know better. I am still in the process of forgiving myself for that, because I didn't know better. And I
Yeah.
know there's so many moms out there that are in the same boat. So
100%.
here's my voice for you. There are ways, and one of the best things I did was not just do the work to make my body the right vessel to carry another being, but also bring my existing family along with me. Like, I meet so many women. Like, I have had the honor to support so many women who have come to me after years of dieting on their own, while their families still eat whatever they used to eat, right? And because the work I do is not about dieting, it's not about restricting any food group, anything really, it's about going back to natural, a holistic approach. I tell them, bring your family along. You will be surprised to see how your kids start getting excited about an apple over an ice cream, how your kids start enjoying things less sweet, like, my son is a green smoothie lover. Sure, he eats the pizzas and the burgers, from time to time, but he comes back home and he says, Mom, I really need 3 days of green smoothies because I need to get that stuff out of my body. That tells me, holy cow, I did a pretty good job, after all.
Yeah. There you go. You can
So,
celebrate that, right? And
yeah, exactly.
acknowledge yourself for the fact that, right, we were just doing the things that we were initially taught. And then, like you said, you were this high performing woman. And what I'm hearing you say is you were trying to be everything, right? You were trying to finish another degree, and and be, this engineer in the workspace, and still be a mom, and have a husband that's traveling. And when, one of the commercials that would come up for me from when I was younger was this Anjali commercial. And it would be like, I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in a pan, and never let you forget that you're a man because I'm a woman. And, it meant well, right? We were really looking to believe that, we can do all the things. We can, we can do all the things, but we don't need to do all the things ourselves, and we don't need to do them all at once. And we get to take care of ourselves, take care of our body temple, if you will. We got to take care of this. This is our soul's chance to be here, is this body temple. And so what you're doing, I look at it and I think, you're breaking a whole cycle from behind you of, you know, being performance driven, right? It's like, if I'm going to make it in this world, I'm going to have to work really hard and work really long hours. I'm going to have to do all the things and do them all, and then your body was like, brakes on, Liz, no.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. And going back to the coaching, like the relevance and the importance of having a good coach. And I want to highlight a good coach is not only shows your blind spots, but also helps you see what's possible that you cannot see. Helps you believe in what you can do when your environment is all against you. One of the things I love and I support my clients to, again, coming from dieting and trying once and again and feeling like they are a failure after failure, that they do not have the willpower, that they do not have the, even the discipline to keep at it, right? Is, well, you know what? You are fighting against an environment that is telling you to do the exact opposite of what you're trying to do. Do you know how hard that is? Our environment makes up more than 60% of our daily choices. So how can you, and this is something I was helped to do that, how can you be the architect of your own environment that supports the way you want to live in? And hence the importance of bringing your family along, right? Like, your family is part of your temple too, is part of your spirit, is part of your whole being.
Yes.
And so when your family is not supportive of, starting making these positive lifelong changes, it is really freaking hard. So having a coach who can guide you, who can give you the strategies, who went through that exact same challenge and overcame it and is now on the other side and is holding the thing high for you, saying, hey, Corinne, you can do this. Just keep going. Don't give up. When it gets hard, it makes a whole lot of a difference.
It sure does. It sure does. And you are just a beautiful representation of someone that will cheer on and help support. And I want you to share with the audience, how they can find you and the work that you do, if this resonates with them, and they find that, yes, Liz is somebody I need in my life.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, I do have a free Facebook community for women over 40. All the information is right here. The Conscious Eating Tribe for Women Over 40. You can just find it in Facebook, or just find me, Liz Urbina. And I am in Facebook, in LinkedIn, and also on Instagram. And I guess, I don't know in the description if you're going to put any of that, but anyways, you can certainly go for all of that and find me just with my name. And I also have a free guide that I offer women over 40. One of the things that I also find a lot of women struggle with is with the concept of metabolism and the thoughts about how our metabolism slows down and starts going against us as soon as we hit, perimenopause or menopause, and how all of those changes start messing us around, really. And I am actually, again, a disruptor. And my invitation is actually to help you start thinking about menopause and perimenopause as this opportunity that Mother Nature is giving us to start nurturing our bodies properly and prepare us for a gracious, strong, and healthy aging.
Oh, I love that.
Yes. So that is my invitation. Start shifting all of the negativity that we hear all around us, around menopause and around metabolism. And so I created, and we can do a lot, actually. We can do a lot to help our bodies to navigate this new stage in the best possible way, minimizing symptoms and feeling really awesome. So I created a guide. It's called 3 Foods to Eat and 3 Foods to Avoid for a Strong Metabolism at 40 and Beyond. And it includes some of my favorite recipes for including those exact ingredients that I am going to be talking about in the guide. It's absolutely free. And I guess I'll share the link with you and you can then share it. So yeah, and then you will get into my world, of course, into my email, and we can chat and communicate better. And I'd love to do that.
Oh, thank you so much. And Liz, I can hear the joy and I can feel the fulfillment that you have by taking this, this series of events that happened with you and into you, and now they're happening through you because you're serving others with, being faced with the diagnosis that you were being faced with, and you've taken this now and you're like, this brings me joy and this brings me fulfillment to be able to share with other women and help them learn and help other families. And I thank you for that. And I thank you for taking the time to come on the Secret Keepers podcast and share with us. And I look forward to connecting with you and for our audience to be able to connect with you. And thanks again for being here with us.
Oh, thank you, Corinne. Thank you. It was an absolute pleasure. And yes, it just fills me with joy like I'm sure it fills you with joy doing this, to just being able to share this. So
thank you.
Thank you for joining the Secret Keepers podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please give us a like and follow so we can invite you back. And if you just want more, visit CorrineZuleger.com. Remember, you're not alone.